I'll mention those steps as we do come across them. Safety guidelines, please no tobacco products, please no vaping, please calendar remain seated, please through the course of the tour. Be mindful, friends, of your hands and your arms and your elbows along the way, and of course, do feel encouraged, please, with questions at any given time. We're going to pick up the bulk of our narration here, be on the second footbridge before us going forward. Welcome to the San Antonio River boat tour upon the San Antonio River in San Antonio, Texas. In case you weren't quite sure about where you were, all that traveling around, right? You're not alone. Yeah, feel free with questions at any time. This part here was excavated for street level, and the part beyond that footbridge we're going to enter into was also excavated for street level. When we take a left turn though, that's going to be the natural bend of the river. And I'll mention as we come along, it's a natural waterway that runs its course through the heart of the city. It's been edified to some extent, to be sure, to try to manage it and contain it, to corral it to some extent, but it's still the natural, still a natural vein, if you will, that cuts through the earth. Looking to the right side of the boat, friends, you see here on the right side this tall statue. This is the likeness of St. Anthony de Padua. In 1691, Spanish explorers did stop in the area long enough to celebrate a mass. The chief celebrant of the mass was the Father Massenet. Happened to be the feast day of St. Anthony de Padua that particular day. So Father Massenet did dub the waterway of Rio de San Antonio. That is how the river got its name in 1691. And here we have taken ourselves a right turn into the man-made extension excavated from street level in 66-68. 20 years before where we left from, the Riverside extension excavated for street level in 85-88, and it's still 3 foot deep throughout. Reflecting upon this air river before us, we started the year 1929. When you see 1929, San Antonio was caught up in the midst of a major building boom. Later that year in 1929, the U.S. stock market suddenly crashed, and the building boom in downtown San Antonio has come to an abrupt halt. The downtown area would not fully recover for nearly 40 years. On a side note, friends, looking to the right at street level is the steeple of St. Joseph's German Catholic Church. Constructed in 1868, they do conduct German singing Thanksgiving Masses there every fourth Sunday of the month, led by a group known as Liederkranz, who has been leading the song of Thanksgiving there for over 140 years now. Open to the public on a daily basis, St. Joseph's off of Commerce Street, 1868. Resuming the first step to move the downtown area towards recovery started out as an idea that began to formalize in 1958. The solution would be an international exposition. The event would become known as Hemisphere, a play on words from the original title of the event, which was Hemisphere World's Fair. San Antonio was planning to host the Americas, Mexico, Canada, and all other countries that share the side of the globe with San Antonio exclusively. And Hemisphere was planned to kick off April 1968. So from 1958 until 1968, the downtown area's revived can-do spirit stayed the course and succeeded in accomplishing a goal that brought international attention to San Antonio, and an estimated 7 million people visiting the Alamo City during a year that the Alamo City here was also celebrating its 250th anniversary as a city. 1968, yeah, the finished fairgrounds, completed man-made extension, as well as the adjoining convention center extension, and a slew of new hotels and restaurants opening up throughout the city of San Antonio, suddenly provided everything needed for a successful San Antonio tourist and convention destination. Hemisphere put San Antonio on a national as well as international destination map it does. Now friends, here we are, we've taken a left turn upon the natural bend of the San Antonio River. As this natural waterway has run its course to the heart of the city, it does shape this kind of crooked horseshoe pattern. On the bottom end of the horn, we're going with the flow. The river depth is anywhere from 3 to 10 foot deep now. Yes, the whole entire river walk today is recognized as the city park it is. It is known as the Paseo del Rio, overseen by the city. There's bass in the water, catfish, perch, turtles, a little bit of crawfish there is. It's a living, natural waterway known as the San Antonio River. Friends, on the left side is the Hilton Palacio del Rio. This hotel on the left is the fastest modular style constructed hotel building in the entire world. What this means exactly, you know, each one is individually prefabricated modules, the furniture already pre-arranged inside, including bed frames, mattresses, mattress covers, sheets, blankets, pillows, pillowcases, dresser drawer, holy Bible dresser drawer, shower curtain, full of towels, wrap, soap, picture frame, the household pet hanger from the wall, make you feel at home when you walk inside. This is true. Everything, friends, was appropriated accordingly. Initially, each room completely furnished they were, then hoisted on up one by one via a crane from the fourth floor, stacked on top of each other like Lego blocks, snapped into place to the plumbing and the electrical. And to the building on the left was accomplished in 1968. 500 room structure left side of the boat. That's just rooms alone. As the building does stand here, friends, on the left, it was completed in a record-setting 202 working days. What? Just as a spoke of it ready to go. Once found in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the fastest modular-style constructed hotel building in the entire world. And no longer is, others have exceeded the feat. Built from Palacio del Rio, Palace River, San Antonio, 1968. Looking to the forefront right side is the Arneson Outdoor River Stage, so named after Edwin P. Arneson, Chief Engineer, Riverwalk Construction, 1939-1941. On the left it does read entrance to La Villita. That's where San Antonio has its origins. La Villita was founded by the Spaniards in 1718. Military compound, Spanish garrison was housed there. Today, La Villita is home to artisan and rustic shops. The compound itself is open anywhere from 6ish to midnight, depending upon events. These tall trees are Montezuma cypress. Some of them are native to the area, some of them have been planted out here. At any rate, some of the tall trees may notice out along the way. They've been out here for well over 300 years already. These two buildings on the right, they house the Briscoe Western Art Museum. They're full of Western art, drawings, paintings, and sculpture of a Western kind, as well as Western artifacts. They also have on site a self-guided sculpture garden, 18 different types of statues with history. For example, you see the bulls in the kettle there on the right side? The history behind that artwork, friends, dates back to 1776. This is when the Declaration of Independence had been signed. In 1778, there were British troops docked at the Alabama coastline and the Florida coastline. Not only docked, but encamped. The idea was to come in, attack, and crush the fledgling democracy. At that time, Texas was a part of Spain. At the bequest of General George Washington, Spain dispatched General Bernardo de Galvez out of then Spanish San Antonio, followed by his troops, followed by the bulls, to keep them fed and hardy for the battles that laid ahead. Against the British, upon they encountered at the Alabama coastline, engaging and defeating. And against the British, upon they encountered at the Florida coastline, engaging and defeating. Camino de Galvez, the artist's name is Kelsey. Had those two battles had not originated out of old San Antonio, this may never, ever had been the United States, as those of us aboard this vessel, called home. Who started it? San Antonio does hold a premier place in the history of our country, 1718. Friends, look into the forefront right's another iron sculpture, two hands there reaching up to a chalice in the host. The iron sculpture commemorates the first mass celebrated along the river in 1691. If you notice those three arrows back there on the artwork, they signify the conversion to Christianity of some of the natives. Arrows set voluntarily upon the table. This doesn't mean that one does not know how to accurately and precisely utilize those arrows. It just means that one doesn't accurately, precisely utilize those arrows maliciously. The artist's name is Rolando Brazilio. The artwork's title is Father, Mass in that table. Coming around the bend, friends, looking downriver, and you see a beehive spire structure with a green roof about it from the view downriver. There it is. That is the Bexar County Courthouse out there, constructed in 1896. That is the largest, oldest, continuously still active courthouse found in the state of Texas today. 1896, Bexar County Courthouse. To the forefront left side is the Tower Life Building, the green top structure made of us from afar. Friends, if you gaze at the most floors of the Gothic structure up there, you can see those gargoyles extending from the uppermost floors. They go all the way around the top 2 times a view. Doubles water spouts from the heavy rainfall. Water cascades out of the gargoyles' mouths, they say. Then there's stone faces here at the base of the Tower Life Building. 4 different expressions, 2 different faces, otherwise known as grotesque. In 1929, the Tower Life was known as the Smith and Young Tower. It's of a Gothic design, designed by Robert and Natalie Ayres, a father-son team of architects, 404 feet straight up into the air. They say it's the only octagon-shaped high-rise in the state of Texas today from the 1920s. Remember that movie Ghostbusters 1? Those are the gargoyles up there from Ghostbusters 1. They extend from the top, around they go twice. This building on the right side of the boat, on the immediate right side of the boat, has no historical significance whatsoever. Actually, from 1919 to 1963, it is known as the San Antonio Pharmaceutical Company building. It's the home with Sweets Hilton today, 1995. The origins of the river valley, located approximately 4 miles north from us here, underneath the campus of Incarnate Word University. Underground springs are bubbling into the Edwards Aquifer. Sebastian, the ground length, it runs about 180 miles northeast out of the city. And it varies in width anywhere from 5 to 30 miles at any given time. The reference depth is 700 feet. It was once the city's only source of drinking water, has since become one of 6 of the city's sources of drinking water. There's traffic light before us in the green, underneath the traffic light, below the surface of the water. This is where Floodgate 4 does rise out of the water to ward off floodwaters when the heavy rains do fall. I'm going to toot the horn here because we're approaching a 3-way blind turn. Don't be alarmed. Man, I love to do that. I do.
Do it again.
As river does flow to take the left turn and travel on you, we'd all be going through 131 Texan miles through 6 Texan counties, emptying off into the Guadalupe River, a few miles inland from the San Antonio Bay. Right off the Gulf of Mexico, river flows to our left out there, 131 Texan miles. Town area occurred in 1921. A combination of 3 storms struck San Antonio simultaneously. Not in sequence as San Antonians claim, but simultaneously. San Antonio claimed to watch storms down at the north, the south having risen a foot an hour for 10 hours at one point during the continuous rainfall. The following day, when the skies were shining blue, downtown was found under 10 feet of water above street level where we are right now. This does imply more than 30 foot of water dropped into the woods of Green, Maverick Green, with San Antonio Conservation Society. Friends together, they managed to lobby any and every proponent in favor of paving over any part of the natural bed of the river whatsoever. Consequently, after City Council had taken the final tally, then Mayor Henry Maverick Sr. did contact then President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who through the Works Projects Administration during the Great Depression had the initial construction of Riverwalk completed between the years of 1939 March, 1941 March. 5 miles worth of initial Riverwalk construction, 2 years worth of work, costing a grand total of $430,000. Normally the river doesn't look grody like this, but after it stormed, like today it stormed a little late, the skeleton crew that works on Saturday, they went home and it stormed a little bit, it gets like this. They'll be out here tomorrow chasing after it. Normally it doesn't look like this at all. Coming through Floodgate 3 back there brought us to Floodgate, coming through Floodgate 3 back there brought us back in here into the natural bend of the Sound River, the Horseshoe Powder, going to flow, river that shores up to the we call Floodgate 4 comes up out of the water, Floodgate 3 comes down to the water, and this is ideal bottlenecks and protects the water in the area of the Horseshoe Powder itself, warding off against floodwaters when the heavy rains do fall.
The original Mexican restaurant.
To the forefront left side is La Mansión Omni, constructed in 1852. In 1853, it's known as St. Mary's Institute, a school started by 4 brothers of the Society of Mary. In 1927, it was known as the San Antonio Law School. In 1966, the law school was relocated to a newly completed complex upon the present-day site of St. Mary's University campus today. Those regular structure here on the left, vacant.